I'm Roanna Ruiz for Civil Liberties Australia. On Christmas Day 2009, an unpassported, dazed and deranged 23-year-old Nigerian, Omar Farouk Abdulmutalab, was put on Northwest Airlines Flight 253 flying from Amsterdam to Detroit. He was sent off with an ineffective explosive down his trousers. Disturbingly, evidence has since emerged that he boarded the plane with official U.S. help. This means Abdulmutalab didn't act on his own accord. The end result of the Abdulmutalab incident is the introduction of Australian airport body scanners with a no-scan, no-fly policy. In short, everyone who flies from now on will automatically be suspected of doing the same as Abdulmutalab and will be deemed guilty until proven innocent. Arguably, this is the beginning of pre-crime approach to policing and security. Civil Liberties Australia says Australians must be given an airport body scanner opt-out provision, like Americans and Europeans who are given alternatives. The Australian opt-out should be on the grounds of medical, religious, or moral beliefs for those who believe electronic body searches or the danger of their health effects breach civil liberties. Critics like Civil Liberties Australia say it's a gross abuse of civil liberties, amounting to warrantless searches, and it's a grievous breach of human rights to travel without undue hindrance, when in fact, other workable options exist to maintain security and safety. Security-conscious Israel uses neither body scanners nor the controversial U.S. hand-down-the-pants pat-down, which is causing outrage in America. The Israeli aviation security regulator, the Israel Security Agency, analyzes threats and vulnerabilities. It then provides guidance to airports and border crossings on how best to utilize technologies. Therefore, Israel is not scanning for liquids, and neither does it have to use body scanners nor the screening of personnel and crew. So what's going on in Australia? The nation is spending $28 million on body scanners and $200 million on the Strengthening Aviation Security Initiative. Critics of the body scanners say the staged Abdulmutalab incident was about selling fear as a pretext to justify the introduction of body scanners in the USA, Europe, and now in Australia. Sales of scanners that benefit the industrial security industry, generating huge profits, in the same way we now know the industrial military complex profits from wars. And so it is with Australians who are also being sold the same fear. Civil Liberties Australia say we're being made to pay for fear with our civil liberties, and it has to stop. It's important to note that Germany is not going along with the body scanners, after the Interior Minister said the devices sound too many false alarms, including at times mistaking underarm sweat for dangerous chemicals. The German determination came after a month-long test of a pair of L3 Communications ProVision ATD human imaging scanners, which are of the same type in use in many airports across the U.S. Now wait for it. What has Australia chosen as its body scanner of choice? None other than the L3 Communications ProVision, the very same brand of scanner the Germans rejected as unreliable and not worthy of use, and which the U.S. Government Accountability Office has said it remains unclear whether the scanners would have been able to detect the weapon used in the Abdulmutalab bombing attempt. It's clear body scanners have limited effectiveness and represent a serious invasion of privacy, despite assurances from government officials. It's therefore little wonder Civil Liberties Australia is calling for a body scanner opt-out provision if Australians are to be forced into the questionable devices. Without an opt-out provision, infants, 6-year-olds, elderly people in wheelchairs, and families leaving Australia on their way to Disneyland will all be deemed guilty and can be scanned against their will. Even our soldiers won't be spared. Australians led by the Civil Liberties Australia are complaining this isn't security, this isn't effective law enforcement, it shouldn't even be constitutional, and it certainly isn't sanity. To date, the government and Minister for Infrastructure Anthony Albanese has ignored mounting outrage at the introduction of the no opt-out body scanner legislation. Civil Liberties Australia says Australians must object to this pattern of running roughshod over the majority of Australians' wishes. Civil Liberties Australia says if Australians don't speak up and express their outrage at the body scanner legislation with no opt-out provision, how will they feel if and when these machines are extended to government buildings, train stations, sporting events, and shopping centers? In fact, anywhere Australians gather and congregate. Civil Liberties Australia says, is this the nation Australians want? Is this the nation they want for our children? Is this the Australia they want to live in? Have the so-called terrorists won? Moreover, does anyone even know who the terrorists are anymore? So what can you personally do to bring out an opt-out right from Australian airport body scanners? You can use both old and new cutting-edge advocacy methods to have your voice heard. The new methods are powerful and can help bring down governments, as we have seen in the Middle East recently. The old-school methods involve ringing, fax, or writing to the minister responsible for the legislation, or calling your local MP expressing disquiet. Call your talkback radio stations, write letters to the editor. These are Anthony Albanese's contact details. We will leave them on screen at the end of this presentation so you can write them down. As for the new digital methods, post this video to Facebook with your comments. Twitter about it using our short link to this video, which plays inside Twitter. Email this video to all in your contact list. SMS it free from the vidcall.com website or your mobile smartphone. Use the keywords body scanner in the search box to bring up this video. Finally, we'll leave you with the words of Benjamin Franklin, a founding father of American liberty. They who can give up essential liberty to obtain a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. I'm Rwanda Ruiz for Civil Liberties Australia.